In 2022, a man by the name of Jermaine Bass pow two of his kids, his 5-year old daughter and his 8-year old son. According to Jermaine, he stated it was an accident. He stated he was trying to remove the magazine or the clip from the bun and it accidentally went off, hitting his kids. So, according to the information that was stated in the courthouse, that day started off, or not necessarily started off, but the mother of the kids, her name is Shirley, she was going to celebrate her sister's birthday at a steakhouse called Ruth Chris. So she left and went there. Jermaine was supposed to be home with the two kids. But at some point, he left to go to Ruth Chris, where his wife was. Um, in the car, his wife stated that they noticed a truck behind them when they was leaving the restaurant. A truck was behind them, driving erratically, was tailgating them, was right behind them, and so they pulled the car over. He pulled in front of them, got out of the truck, and then came to the driver's side window. When he knocked on the window, he realized that her cousin that was at the party with her, was actually driving the car and she was sitting in the passenger seat. He stated to her or asked her, was she drunk? And then he got back in his truck and then ended up going back home to the apartment where the kids were. She proceeded, dropped the cousin off, and then went back home. She was in her bedroom, and then that's when the pow happened and the police was called.
Nobody else is in the house. All right. Hey, can you two go help him? Get clear up here. Take him to the hospital. Call the paramedics. All right, paramedics are coming right now. Oh, please, now. What happened? What happened? What happened? The guy is okay. Somebody got a med bag. Get a med bag. Oh, God, no. Please, hurry. They're coming. Did you feel any of that? Hey, can you hear me? They're here. They're coming. Yeah, they're cleared downstairs. We cleared it downstairs. It's okay. Not yet. He said it was an accidental discharge. Thank you. 46 on station, North 1025, and the house is clear. We got another use of the okay. Okay. All right. 47, be advised, there's another gunshot victim upstairs. It's a juvenile female. Yes, 10-4. accidental discharge happened, what happened? It was going. I was from you or somebody else. I was trying to take out the magazine and it went off. All right, we'll get it figured out. Just stay calm for now. What happened upstairs? Nothing happened upstairs. Hey, we still have to get some zeros. Make sure you check that back out. Got you. Is she breathing? She's breathing out. Where's the doctor now? It's upstairs. I'm pressing on top of it. One is should be in that silver dresser. The middle of the master. You know, check the one. Gotcha. Okay. What's one upstairs? Hey, what's upstairs? It's worse upstairs. Okay. Adult? No. Juvenile, female. Okay. Take this one to the rescue. Stay right where you're at. Stand up for me real quick. I'm just going to pat you down for weapons, please. Just put them on your head. Turn around for me. You got nothing on you right now. You got something on the side of your head. Left side of his head. Alright, have a seat. You ready? Alright, guys, get up. We're coming down now with the other 4-year-old. Where at? So you're saying that whatever happened to him, is that your son? Both of those are my kids. Both of those are your kids. So it accidentally discharged and hit your son. What happened to your daughter upstairs? The same thing. They was both in the bed. They were both in the bed together? Yes. I think our range is in the way. You're saying both kids were in the bed together and you were in their room? I was in there. Now 47, the father's saying that he shot both of them with the gun around. That's definitely the gun around. So nobody else was in this house, just you and them? Me, my wife. And your wife? Where was she at? She was in her room. She was in her room? Yeah.
Deputy, was Mr. Bass eventually taken into custody at that point? Yes, sir. All right.
And you've seen just in the video previously what kind of inspired when they got there, what was going on when they got there. So now here it is 2025 and they're actually sentencing him. And so I'm going to show you a video of his wife, what she had to say to the judge.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
If you would, please tell me your name and how you're related to the children.
Shirley Bass, mother.
Okay.
Ms. Bass, did you have a statement you wanted to make to the court regarding the sentencing in this case?
Excuse me. I just want to say thank you and
Do you need some water?
no, I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Let us know if you do.
It's never going to be any justice for this. But I pray that we can all move forward. While our angel is looking over us all. Life as a mother and wife comes with its challenges. It's not always perfect, and each day isn't filled with sunshine. But with faith and prayer, you navigate through the ups and downs. You embrace your role as a football and cheer mom. And despite financial hardships, nothing compares to the joy of witnessing your children thrive in activities they love. You focus on their happiness, content with your daily routine of work and family life. Yet, in an instant, everything changes. Your husband and children are taken away from you, leaving you to question, how could he? How could he hurt them, putting them in harm's way, knowing he's supposed to be their protector? What could drove him to such actions? No longer is it about why, but how. How could a person choose to harm their own child? A little girl who just begun to experience the world, who started kindergarten 19 days before, and who will not lose not only her first tooth, but her entire life just 13 days later. How could you? How could you take away the life of such an innocent, joyful, promising child? How could you? She will never get to experience her first dance or celebrate her sweet 16, and she'll never become the cheerleader she was destined to be. How could you? As a mother, the thought of the experiences I wish to share with my daughter is heart wrenching. Those moments were stolen from me by someone I trusted, who I thought I loved, in our children. Understanding that no sentence you receive could ease the pain or bring her back is a harsh reality. You think of your son, who looked up to his father, loved playing video games, and dreamed of being a football player. How could you attempt to take your own son's life? How could you? You ripped away your son's dream and deny him of a fair chance. Yet through it all, I feel blessed to witness my son healing's journey. Tears of joy filled my eyes the first time he stepped onto that field again, knowing that what he has endured. He proudly declared that he will wear the number 5 to honor his baby sister Jayla. In the weight of this tragedy, it is now my responsibility to ensure that my son JJ is protected. I am determined to create a safe and loving environment for him, one where he can thrive and continue to grow without fear. Jayla is now with the Lord, resting in his arms. She walks with us every day. Those we love may leave us, but they remain in our hearts forever. Jayla is deeply loved and very much missed. We cherish the 5 years we shared with her and the beautiful memories we created. She brought us the best 5 years of our life, and our heart knows the sweetness of the angel she was here on this earth. I hope that you live your best life, experience the pain, knowing what you took from this world. A bright, loving cheerleader, an awesome daughter, cousin, niece, granddaughter, and an amazing sister. How could you make the choice to end her life? JJ is a warrior, and he has an angel looking over him every day now. It's Double J forever, and mommy loves them both. Thank you, hon.
Thank you.
As you can see with the mother, she is devastated because she no longer has her daughter with her. And her son is, he's been injured. He recovered from his injury, but he's still missing a sister. So they're still going to be going through this situation, this, traumatic experience. There's something they're still going to have to move forward, but also try to work on. I'm going to also show you a testimony, his mom speaking in court.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Could you state and spell your name for the court reporter, please? LaQuanza Thomas, Laquanza Thomas, Thomas. What is your relationship to Mr. Bass? That's my son. Okay. Judge Ward, what would you like to tell her this morning? This has been a journey, always been a journey. As a mother, my son had him April 27, 1992. And a joy that it was as a young mother, raising him. And he was always a good student, smart, intelligent. He still is.
Is he an only child?
He have twin brothers. And everybody educated. Everybody graduated. No one's have no charges in no schools or none of that. This is the first one. Everybody's always work. My son been working there since the age of 15 with his grandmother. Then got on his own. He always been, when he met her at the age when she was 17, he always was a provider, a protector, and a pleaser, because he was the one who was always working. And he always made sure he provided for his family. And he always made sure that no matter what, they was good, even before I was good. He went back because he wanted to be a husband and he wanted to be able to take care of his kids. But sometimes you have to learn to separate yourself, love yourself more. Because sometimes you'll be on a journey and that you can't see because you're not used to it, because it's your first love. You didn't have all those experience. And as a mother, I couldn't give you of who you was going to love and end up with and what the journey you would have had to go on. But I'm always here. And one thing about it, all the men at the cruise ship, because he was a welder building cruises, his last job, they know what everyone said, nothing but good things about you. You hold your head up. I don't know. I still don't know the answer. I don't know why. I don't know none of that. But one thing that I will say, if it happened, if you did do it, it's a crime of passion. Because of the stories that I know. And they say, why? Why he called his mother? Because I'm always that mother that's going to be there. That I'm going to come. Mama have the answers. That's what my kids know. And maybe I went and did protect them too much. My kids work and they be at home playing the game. Even at this age. But maybe I don't know how to stop a little bit. But I love my grandkids. Because I'm just like I was about my sons. I was that grandmother. If nobody else was there, I was there. I made it happen. So you hold your head up. I love you and I'm on this journey with you. Because I know if you did this, it was a crime of passion. Not nothing else. And I thank you all.
Thank you for being here.
As I'm listening to the mother, she's stating that her son, took care of his family, that he did everything he was supposed to do, paid the bill, made sure the family, the son and the daughter was taken care of, made sure that his wife was taken care of, to the point that he even provided for them before he provided for her. And I didn't understand that statement because that's what he's supposed to do. If that's his wife and those are his children, they're supposed to come first. Their needs are supposed to be met before his mother needs are met because he's taking on that responsibility of being a husband and a father. And another thing that stood out to me as far as what the mother stated, it's like she's still making excuses for her son. She said she raised him as a single mother. And this is why I say, and this is not every case, but this is why I say that it's important for a male figure, a father, especially a father, but some type of strong male figure to be present in the child's life. Because you can see with the mother how she stated, like sometimes she may feel that she may have done too much for him, or she may have not allowed him. She didn't actually say the word grow, but she, was too present in his life, even as him being an adult, because you can see she's still making excuses for him. She's stating that she don't know if he did it or not. But in that police video, you could hear him saying that he did it. The gun, it was an accident. The bun accidentally went off. So that means he was there with a pow pow in his hand in his children's room. And even if we believe what he's saying, he went into his children's room while they would sleep with the pow pow and decided to take the clip out, and it accidentally went off. So that was still irresponsible. Even if they happened that way, that would be still irresponsible for. So instead of her trying to allow him to take responsibility for his actions, she's standing there still trying to cover for him and make excuses like if he did it, it was passion. It was a crime of passion. But that wasn't passion because that had to be planned. Your two kids are in the same bed together. 5 rounds went off. 3 into your daughter, your granddaughter, his daughter, and then 1 into your grandson, his son. But you're still making excuses for a grown man, telling him to hold his head up. He didn't do anything wrong. He should be proud of everything he did. He did everything that a man is supposed to do that has a wife and kids. So he didn't do anything special. And then for her to continue to try to make excuses for him, it would be, to me, it would have been better for her not to say anything than for her to say if he did it when he confessed to doing it, but he's still saying it was an accident. She should have just not said anything because that speaks volume to how she actually raised him.
Bass is going to make a brief statement. All right.
Your Honor, growing up for me as a child, it's been tough. I was raised in a single parent home till about the age of 10 with my cousin that my mom adopted. And we had good times. We had some bad times. I've always gone to school. I've always had good grades. Like my mom stated, I've always worked. I graduated from Hillsborough High School. I'm a good person. I've worked. I've always provided for my family. I've always been in a good spirit, a good cheer. I was always the favorite cousin, the favorite brother, the one who was, some people may say, the privileged one. I made sure that my family had the best. I always strive for the best. I moved my family out of Tampa to the Gibson area, 2-story home, to provide for them, to make sure we had the best life in a nice subdivision. All those things I lost on this journey, but I did everything in my power to redeem myself and try to make things better. I love my son. I made sure that when he was going through his speech issues, I gave him a tutor. I made sure I put him on that football field. I made sure that no matter the cost for the elite cheerleading, I made sure that my daughter was able to go, no matter what was the circumstances or hardships that my family had to face. I made sure to try to come up with some type of resolution to get them to find a way out for them so they can have a nice life as a father and as a husband with my wife. Since we were like high school sweethearts, and we've been together, and she will always be my one heart, one love, one mind. Regardless of the circumstances on how anyone feels or what they may accuse me of, I know the outcome. I just want to say, after hardship comes relief, and I hope that my family and her family, they find some type of peace. And I know that it may be difficult because the accident, but I hope that God guides them and give them strength as the same strength that He's given me, and the courage and the protection from all evil. And also, I know that God has a plan for everything, and I know He works in mysterious ways. But in the end, I know God will always watch over me. La ilaha illallah. I got nothing else to say, y'all.
And the accident that you're referring to is the death of your children in that statement? That's what you're referring to as the accident?
Yes.
Anything else from either side?
And then you can see when he made his closing remarks, he is focusing on the same thing that his mother was focusing on, that he's a good boy, he's a good person, he worked, he went to school, he kept his grades up. But what you did to your kids, that those two things don't add up. They don't, one don't outride the other. All this stuff that they said about you may be true. You may be a good person as far as when you was around other people. They may have seen the good side of you. You may have been, had good grades. You may have been, a great provider for your kids, a great provider for your wife, making sure they had a roof over their head, making sure they had everything they needed. But that still doesn't take away from that one thing that you did on that night to your own kids. And then another thing that stood out to me as far as what he said in the initial, when the police had the video cam, he stated something in there that kind of stuck with me. And then he also stated something in his closing statement that stuck with me. In his the video cam footage, or that part of it you could see and part of it you could just hear. He was holding his son. He stated that they was both in bed together, but when the police came in, he was holding his son. And when the police was asking, is there anyone else in the house? Is there anyone else upstairs? He never mentioned his daughter. He never said, my daughter is upstairs. She has been pow pow also. She need medical care. The only person he was worried about was his son. Please get paramedics in here for my son. Get someone in here for my son. But not once did the word my daughter is upstairs come out of his mouth. Check on my daughter. Get paramedics upstairs to my daughter. Because if you hear what they said, that she was in a pool of blood in there, because she took 4 to the head. The son took 1 to the head. So to me, it seemed like he was really gunning. To me, it seemed like he was really trying to target the daughter more so than the son. I think this, to me, my opinion, that it may have been an accident that the son, got 1 in the head, because son got 1 in the head on the left side, and then the daughter, she took 4 in the head. And so when he's sitting there also testifying, speaking up for himself, he mentioned that he loved his son, but he never mentioned about loving his daughter. He stated that he paid for her to take cheerleading. That's the only time he brought his daughter up. But he never mentioned he loves his daughter. He never mentioned this was an accident. I never wanted it to happen. I don't know if his lawyer whispered something in his ear, but he never brought up the daughter other than cheerleading. Just like when in that video, he never brought up the daughter. He never said, go upstairs and check on my daughter. He never said, how is my daughter? Is my daughter okay? Even when the police they took the son, the paramedics took the son, and the police was patting him down. Never once did he say, is my daughter okay? How is my daughter? He was just saying, oh, it was an accident. One time it's an accident. If you're really doing what he said he was doing, and the gun accident, I'm trying not to say the G word, but the gun accidentally went off, then it would have done it one time. I have seen videos where even with the police, they accidentally discharged, or someone else had, one of those and it accidentally discharged, but it just one time. It didn't 5 times. That's not an accident. That's intentional. And so both him and his mother are delusional. And so you see the next video is going to be his sentencing, what he's actually been charged with, and how much time he's actually going to get.
All right. Based on the jury's verdict, Mr. Bass, on counts 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're adjudicated guilty, sentenced to life in Florida State Prison. Counts 1, 2, 3, and 4 each carry a 25-year minimum mandatory sentence. Count 1 is life without possibility of parole. That's for the first-degree murder of Jayla Bass. Impose all mandatory costs as a lien against you. That includes the $150 for the cost of prosecution. You have credit for 917 days. Is that your understanding of your credit time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All the counts are to run concurrent. All the minimum mandatories are to run concurrent. Any questions about this sentence? You have 30 days to appeal the verdict of the jury and the judgment of the court. If you cannot afford the services of an attorney for the purposes of appeal, one will be appointed for you. I know the Office of the Public Defender will perfect the appellate paperwork before they withdraw from representation.
And Judge, may we send you an order today appointing us?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Because initially they wanted to, he ended up getting life without possibility of parole. At one point, they was trying to get they was trying to get a death sentence for him. But they changed their mind and ended up just going for the life without possibility of parole. And I think that was the right decision, because it never came out exactly why he did it. They never said, oh, it was an argument. The only altercation they stated on that particular day was when he left the kids at home and went to Ruth Chris, where his wife was celebrating the birthday with her sister. That's the only, like incident that happened between them two that they spoke about. They say maybe there was things going on in the household that no one actually, brought up in court. But you see from the beginning, when the police heard him, they didn't believe him. That same night, they took him into custody and, booked him because it made no sense what he was saying. Because even if it was an accident, why were you up in your kids' room with that while they were asleep? That didn't make any sense. So, and then it's 5 times a discharge. That was something that was done on purpose. And I feel that he got the right sentence for what he actually did to his kids. And it's, just sad that he did not know how to control his emotions. He was hurting for whatever reason. He was angry, he was hurting, and he chose to take it out on his daughter because, like I said, I feel like the daughter was the main target because even when the police was there with their cameras, he never mentioned, my daughter, is she okay? My daughter's upstairs, check on her, make sure she's fine. He never mentioned that. He was only worried about his son. And so I don't, it's just sad all around, but I'm glad he ended up getting the sentence that he did. But these men need to learn how to control their emotion. They need to grow up and become more mature. That's why it's important that men are surrounded by strong men. Well, boys, as they're growing up, as little boys are growing up, to teenagers, to young adults, they need to be around strong men because one of the things that a strong man will do is help these boys learn how to deal with their emotion, their aggression, their when they feel like they need to act out or hit someone or do something, they would help them control that emotion, control that anger, and redirect that into something else instead of acting on it impulsively and hurting someone. I would like to thank you for watching this video. My name is Delmarshae. Please like, share, and subscribe.